Hi, I'm winemaker Brian Maloney, and I'm here out in the state vineyard with our wine grower, Eric Pooler.
Hello.
And today we're enjoying some of our Forgotten Vines Zinfandel on one of the last days of harvest for the 2015 vintage. Eric, you want to tell us a little bit about the growers we work with in the Forgotten Vines?
Some fantastic growers in this bottling, primarily Russian River, with the exception of one vineyard. We have a combination of the Cytone Vineyard, the Bouchet Vineyard, and the Rue Vineyard located in the Russian River Valley, and then Riebli, which is located kind of just above the Russian River Valley in the hills. If you added up the combined age of these vineyards, you'd be looking at what, like 500 plus years or something
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, they're all over 100 at this point.
They're century vines going into this, all small vines, very balanced, reaching a stasis with nature on their own, naturally, dry farmed, just intense fruit characteristics, and a lot of diversity within a pretty small area.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about these old vines is the way they were planted. They're not single vineyard, single clonal plantings like we do today. They're very much made up of individual kind of personalities to each site. And so whether you're out at the Cytone Vineyards with its blocks of Carignane and intermingled Petite Sirah and then a block of Alicante Bouchet, or you're over at the Riebli Vineyard with its very high percentage of Petite Sirah, but also some intermingled Muscat vines, or the Rue Vineyard, where everything seems kind of randomized and you have every other vine seems to be something other than Zinfandel. So Zinfandel is the most important contributor to this. In fact, the Bouchet Vineyard, which goes into this, is almost 100% Zinfandel. But those individual components from those other vineyards really gives us a dimension to this wine that makes it unique, especially within our portfolio. And so you have those things like the Alicante Bouchet lending great color to this wine, the Petite Sirah giving it a structural element unique to this style of old vine Zinfandel, and then that Carignane just giving you that nice minerality and crispness and length from its higher acid contribution. Zinfandel is often quite late, and 2012 was no exception. These vineyards were almost all picked in October and then made in essentially the same style we've been making Zinfandel here going back to the 1970s with just kind of minimal intervention, native yeast, punch downs and pump overs depending on the vineyard, depending on the size of the fermentation, and then aged in a mix of mostly older oak. Really lets those fruit characteristics and spice characteristics dominate this wine and become the most important part of this, as opposed to it just being some big jam bomb that you might see from warmer parts of California. So a delicious Zin, all old vines. Cheers.